Hi everybody! You've already learned about the bass clef, which is used by all the low sounding instruments, and the treble clef, which is used by all the high sounding instruments. But what about my instrument? This in between, not too high, not too low, viola. In this kind of in-between range, the viola uses something called the alto clef. The viola is actually the only instrument that uses this clef, which makes it extra special. Today I'm going to teach you how to draw a kind of basic alto clef and a fancy alto clef. So we start by drawing our staff. As you learned from Vinny and Ryan, we need 5 lines on a staff. You can either freehand to make these lines equally distant, or you can use a ruler like Vinny did in his last video. Once we have an area with 5 lines, on the left side, we make 2 lines, all the way from the top to the bottom. Then we find the middle line, and from there we make kind of a K shape. And this is how we draw an alto clef the fast and easy way. Let's do one more. Make 5 lines. One, two, 3, 4, 5. Then we draw 2 lines connecting the top and the bottom on the left side. We find the middle line and we draw 2 curves, kind of making a K shape. And this is the alto clef. Next, I'm going to show you how to draw the fancy, beautiful version of the alto clef. I've already created my staff here with 5 lines, and I made this one a little bit longer so that I'd have room to draw a couple tries. So let's start over here on the left. We do the same beginning as our last alto clef, where we draw 2 lines connecting the top to the bottom of our staff. Then, just like in the other way of drawing the alto clef, we find the middle line. That's this one right here. And we draw kind of an arrow that points to that middle line. From there, we can draw 2 little dots. The first one is just underneath that top line, and the second one is just above that bottom line. And all of these 3 objects are all in a row. Dot, arrow, dot. Then we connect them. We go from the arrow to the dot, and from the arrow to the other dot. So this is our fancy way of drawing the alto clef, and it looks more like the type of alto clef we would see in printed out music. Let's try one more of these. So we can do 2 lines top to bottom, find the middle line, make that kind of arrow shape. Then we make our dots. And all of this is within the staff. We don't go outside of those 5 lines. Then we start at the arrow and we make a curve to that upper dot and a curve to the lower dot. I want to show you one more way that you can practice this, and it's with lined paper. So since this already has perfectly straight lines, you can just trace, I'm going to make a really long one here, 5 of these. All right, so I have my pretty much straight 5-line staff. And On this lined paper, I'm going to try our fast way of drawing the alto clef. Again, we make 2 lines. We always start this way. And then we find the middle line of the staff, which is here. And we draw those curves up to make that K shape. Okay, this is our easy, quick way. And let's try one of those fancy ones on this lined paper as well. Top to bottom line. Another one. Find the middle line. We make that arrow. We make our dots just below the top line, just above the bottom line, and all of these are in a row. Then we take our curves and we connect to the top dot and to the bottom dot. And this makes a larger clef than my other drawings. So because of that, we can actually kind of go in and make all of these lines a little bit darker, especially here in our curve, and that's what makes this look very, very fancy, just like we'd find on a real piece of music.
The Griffon String Quartet is in residence with Midsummer's Music in Door County, Wisconsin. For more information about our upcoming events, visit midsummersmusic.com.